Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's bird video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's bird video, day 10 will take us to the 15th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe we'll try to complete. We'll have a look at the GFS week 2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will get us into the beginning of October now, I think. So I should get on that for you in a second. Just say that first, video today was our 6-7 UK weather forecast, and we've also release the detailed European outlook for next week, 10 days. So please like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. Thank you so everyone for doing that. We just need to put on 10 subscribers to get ourselves at 18.7k now. We are so close to 18.7k. So please give us some tell friends about to subscribe, and we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, thank you so much, everyone. Incredible. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Right, well, we're going to start in the subtropical Atlantic. Interest areas galore, but will any of them actually develop into tropical storm? That's the question. Let's deal with them in turn. So, we've got disturbance free here. Free with a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 20% chance in the next 7 days. We've also got disturbance 5 with a 0% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 10% chance, just a 10% chance in the next 10 days. We have got disturbance 4 there, with a 0% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a low 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. And up here we've got disturbance 1, that's got a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, 10% chance in the next 7 days. That's not going to do much, I don't think. And then we've got disturbance 2 over here with just again a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. So despite all of those interest areas, none of them have got more than a 30% chance of cyclone formation. Most of them just with 20% chance. So this very strange Atlantic tropical storm and hurricane season of 2024 continues. It's trying, obviously, we can see from all those disturbance areas, it's trying to get itself going, but at the moment it's well and truly stalled and doesn't look like it's going to be able to, reactivate. Certainly not with those disturbance areas anyway. So we shall keep you posted, and we'll let you know if there's any more developments. Right, well, going back to home, central temperature dropped by a full degree yesterday. We shaved 1 degree off the CET yesterday. So we're now sitting at 16.9. which is 3.3 degrees above 61 to 99 average, and that is provisional to yesterday, to the 4th of September. Big drop in the central temperature yesterday. So, sorry everyone, we expect that to continue, drop to continue on and off over the coming several days as well. These are the GFS and ECM 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts from Penn State University. So we've got the ECM WF on the top and the GFS is down here on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 meters, is now in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to below average heights, low pressure. Yellow, orange, and red to above average heights, which is high pressure. Check out the ECM in a 7 to 10 day time frame. See a trough of low pressure sitting right over the top of the UK and Ireland, extending into Europe as well. The jet stream, let's get rid of the L's, the jet stream is down here. So we're on the cool side of the jet, and we're under quite a big area of low pressure, so looking cool and unsettled there. Maybe quite cold and wet even with the ECM in the 7 to 10 day time frame. And the GFS is very similar. The only difference really is that the trough of low is even deeper. So we see an even deeper shade of blue there sitting right over the top of the UK and Ireland. Again, the jet stream down here somewhere. Both the models in the 7 to 10 day time frame looking cold and wet, which is shaping up to be a very different September than we've had for quite some time. Maybe you have to go back to 2017 for the last time we had a September quite like this. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're at Blackburn today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Blackburn. At the moment, we're about average. We're going to get one more lift up in the upper air temperatures through the end of the week and into the weekend. Then next week, the upper air temperatures slide away, becoming quite cold, as I say, by the middle to second half of next week. With those upper air temperatures going significantly below average. After that, they start to recover and return closer to normal. But, you know, no sign that we go back to the warmth that we've got coming up with the upper air temperatures in the next 24, 48 hours or so. Precipitation-wise, well, we see a lot of dry weather for Blackburn in the next couple of days. Of course, it's much wetter further south, but beyond that, lots of rainfall spikes coming through as well. Some quite alarmingly big rainfall spikes up here. Obviously, they're outliers, but, you know, it does look a really wet ensemble anyway, from like the beginning of next week right way through to the end of the ensemble graph, which gets us to the 21st of September, which admittedly is extended range and is therefore unreliable, but nevertheless, it looks like we're going into a much wetter phase here through the second week of September, through the middle of the month, and into the second half of the month even. Temperature anomalies from the 5th to 13th of September, about average, not a particularly big deviation. Notice France is actually coming out colder or cooler than average. We're close to normal, but I think that does encompass like the warmth we've got coming up over the next 2 or 3 days. So once we get weekend out of the way, I would imagine we'll probably see those temperature anomaly charts going a bit below average, a bit colder than average maybe. Precipitation anomalies from the 5th to 13th of September were significantly wetter than average to the south and drier than average up to north, which is rather a strange pattern. As I said, it's looking a very different September. Latest wind map from Earth, nullschool.net shows that we've got low pressure sitting to our south. We're bringing in this wind from the east and from the northeast today. And, of course, below to the south is producing quite a lot of rain across the southern half of the country. In fact, a rain event is taking place in the far south and southwest. That rain will clear through, but then more heavy showers, possibly thunderstorms even, will come back later tonight and through into tomorrow as well. Check out the 6 AM forecast for more about all of that. Right, let's start going through chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking, excuse me, it's looking for midnight on Sunday. Low pressure moving up from the south, bringing more heavy rain across the southern half of the country, while high pressure keeping the north mostly dry. Now, that low pressure moves off into the southern North Sea by Monday, and then low pressure deepens to the north of Scotland, and that's the change to something quite a lot cooler, maybe even colder and wetter through the middle and second half next week. Low pressure sets up off the east coast of Scotland. Down comes this northerly wind, which will have a real chill to it. And there will be showers and longer spells of rain coming along with those northerly winds as well. So very autumnal next week with the UK Met. Icon showing low pressure coming up from the south on Saturday through to Sunday, bringing heavy rain into the south. That's sticking around into Monday. Then the low moves off in towards Germany and the Low Countries, turns the wind into a northerly as we go through to the middle of next week. Proper northerly blasts there from Icon through the middle part of next week. Possibly in cold enough for a little bit of snow top of Scottish mountains, can you believe? Otherwise, heavy rain showers. And then this low starts moving in from the northern North Sea. That will bring some very wet weather into northern eastern parts of Scotland. That low then starts sinking down into the country. So very unsettled, quite wet and cold with the Icon run today. KMA looks like that. So again, got that low pressure to the south, over and to the south of the country at the end of the week and into weekend. But next week we shift the wind around to a northwesterly, and ultimately, as this low drops in to the north. If this was January, we will be talking about a lot of snow coming in with that low. Of course, it's September, so any wintry stuff will be restricted to the far tops of Scottish mountains. But it will be feeling cold, and it will be quite wet, I think, with those northerly winds. So get your heating ready, perhaps, for next week. And as it's reached, so that low moves away by the end of next week, and we start to get a bit of a ridge building through the country, or a cold type thing. That will be quite cold under that little cold or ridge there. So I wouldn't be ruling out the chance of some ground frost, possibly even right way down into the south there by the middle of September with that. And then it looks like more low pressure gathering. That looks to be the remains of a tropical storm and or hurricane, by the way, just there. So that could all be heading in our direction to keep the unsettled weather going. Blimey. Well, let's have a look at the GFS midnight run. See how that one's looking. Low pressure again pushing up from the south Saturday into Sunday, bringing heavy rain northwards with it. That gets out of the way, and then low pressure heads in from the Atlantic through the middle part of next week, turns wind into this cooler or possibly quite cold northwesterly, and with low pressure sitting around the country, there'll be showers and long spells of rain coming through with that as well. Heading up to day 10, well, thermal low pressure driving in from the Atlantic. This one pulling up some rather warmer air, milder air anyway, from the central part of the Atlantic, so temperature would lift up a bit with that, but still bring lots of heavy rain in with it as well. Possibly gale force winds too. Then a bit of a ridge trying to get going through the third week of the month. So that will settle things down. Again, it could be quite cold under that ridge though. And you won't be running out the chance of some overnight ground frost even down into the south. But GFS 6 said, by comparison, again got that low pressure moving northwards Saturday into Sunday. Then the low pressure gets out of the way through the early part of next week. Another low develops to the north of Scotland. That brings lots of wet and windy weather in with it. And as that moves towards Norway, pulls the wind into its northerly, and zoom, down comes that northerly push. So the upper air temperatures, really chilly air for, it's only 12th of September, really chilly air for 12th of September with the 0 Celsius ice firm plunging south in towards northern France, with almost getting the -5 Celsius ice firm into the far north of Scotland. So as this little ridge builds here, by the end of next week, there is the potential for ground frost down to south, probably air frost as well, up in the north very early in the season for that. And then as we head up towards day 10, low pressure starts going back in off the Atlantic. Will begin to lift the temperature back up, but start to bring bouts of rain in with it. And it all just looks rather changed. But we are drawing out some warmer air there around the 17th, 18th of September. But it's not long before this low deepens west of Scotland, and that warm air gets pushed away by those westerly winds. It looks a very, very changeable and unsettled, and potentially, at times anyway, quite cold and wet September but is developing here. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure you show everyone for doing that. Drop a comment and know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. It's amazing, it's incredible. We thank you so much for doing that. We need to put on just 10 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.7k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be unbelievable. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. GM, again, with low pressure coming up from the south. Saturday and Sunday, bring bouts of rain in with it, and then once that gets out of the way, into Denmark by midnight Tuesday, low pressure then is deepening, a new low pressure deepening to the north of Scotland, bringing a band of rain across the country and also introducing cooler winds from the northwest. So for the middle part of next week, looking very unsettled, low pressure bringing bouts of rain and cool as well on the cool side of the jet stream. pulling down those northwesterly winds, and we keep the unsettled weather going, albeit temperatures lift back up again by day 9-10, but we keep the unsettled weather going with further low pressures up to day 10, which is the 15th of September there. And then the ECM rounding it all off again, low pressure coming up from the south through the weekend, bringing heavy rain across England and Wales. That low then gets out of way through the middle part of next week, and another low deepens to the north of Scotland. That brings a band of rain across the country, and then pulls down this much cooler, or perhaps even quite cold, northwesterly to northerly wind as you go through the middle part of next week. With further low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, there'll be more bouts of wet weather as well, and those temperatures look really quite suppressed. So all models are in agreement with next week to be not only very unsettled, but certainly around the middle part of the week, actually quite cold. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. Here's all today's rain in the south and southwest at the moment. Most of that will get out of way for a while, although in the far southwest it does continue, but southern counties probably drying up a little bit for the early part of this evening. But then we've got more heavy showers, possibly thunderstorms coming back into the south through the second half of tonight. They start drifting northwards through the course of tomorrow. Could bring some very wet weather to Wales and Midlands, and maybe even East Anglia. And then into Saturday and Sunday, further wet weather piling up from the south, with showers, long spells of rain, possibly thunder mixed in. So up to the early part of next week, the focus for the wet weather is particularly for England and Wales. And then the second half of next week, we bring in that cold front. That brings a band of rain with it, followed by lots of showers packing in to the north and west. It really is a case of showers with longer spells of rain then as we move on up towards day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 15th of September. 17 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure in from the Atlantic, bringing unsettled conditions in with it. 12 with deep low pressure right over the top of the country. It's going to be very unsettled and autumnal. 8 though, a little bit more settled with a ridge to the southwest going to the northeast. So that should be a bit drier. And they've got 7 with low pressure to the east, high pressure out in the Atlantic. That's looking rather cool and unsettled. We've got another 7, final 7 with high pressure up towards Scandinavia, low pressure over France, and winds will be coming in from an easterly direction with that. Still perhaps a bit showy in the south, but more unsettled up in the north. So range of options, but I think the majority options probably going to be the 17 there, 12 there, and the 7 there, which are rather on the unsettled side. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got, and it will get us to the 20th of September. 29 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure towards Scandinavia, winds coming in from the east. That should be mostly dry, but could be a bit chilly, depending on the origins of the easterly, of course. And then we've got 22, so a significant minority that keep the unsettled weather going and have low pressure right over top of the UK and Ireland. So by 2 weeks out, the majority option is back towards higher pressure. It could be quite a cool high pressure, but it is back towards drier conditions. But a significant minority keeping things unsettled even out to 2 weeks. And then the CFS B2 finally, these are 500 millibar high times, breaking down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 5th through to the 11th of September. So the next week we'll have high pressure in the Atlantic and to the north and the northeast of the UK, low pressure down towards France. That could bring the wettest weather into the south northern areas protected by the ridge for a while anyway, but even there probably turning unsettled later on. Unsettled for all of us by week 2. It's a throughout to the 18th of September, deep low pressure over and to the east country on the cool side of the jet as well, so quite cold and wet through the middle part of September there. Week 3 will be the 19th to the 25th of September with low pressure to the west and northwest, high pressure to the southwest, perhaps a bit drier and warmer in the south, but still really quite unsettled up in the north. And then week 4 is the 26th of September, 2nd of October. And then we see a bit of a change. High pressure starts building northwards. That would turn things drier and probably warmer as well, actually, for the start of October. So after what could be quite a cool, wet September, despite the very hot opening day, but overall could be quite a cool and wet September, we might be seeing a hint there of some warmer and drier weather for October. I shall say no more. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment and say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. 10 subscribers will get us to 18.7k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be amazing. It'd be incredible. And we will thank you so much for doing that. I'll just tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have 6 AM UK weather forecast, of course. JMA Friday. And there'll be a 10 to 14 day coming along as well. So lots to look forward to. I've got a busy weekend, actually that weekend as well, and I'll tell you about that tomorrow. But for this video and for today's video, that's all for now. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Try and stay dry if you're down in the south, the southwest. And yeah, for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.